Good day, YouTubers. 6 months ago, I don't know if you'll recall, Prince Harry joined the Aspen Institute's Commission on Information Disorder. He's one of their many commissioners. Okay, and so finally, uh, just the other day, they put out guidance. They put out 15 points of what they want to change. Well, I've searched and searched and searched to try to find the 15 points, and I can't find them. Apparently, they're on the Archwell website. I guess I could go to the Archwell website. I didn't. Here's some highlights of the report. Calls for increasing social media transparency and disclosure. I think they want no anonymous accounts. I think that's what they want, which I don't know how I feel about that. A new proposal regarding social media platform immunity. Okay, so they want social media platforms being held accountable for the views and opinions of their users. Currently, I actually know a little bit of something about this arena, because I worked in government in this arena. Social media is basically, I'm not sure the legal definition, but I think they're basically a common carrier. They're like the public square. Social media is the public square. Anybody can walk into the public square and say anything. That's called free speech. Okay. And no one now, if they cross certain lines, if they start threatening people or they use pornographic language, we've decided that there are special laws against that. But anything other than threats, violence, or pornographic language, then anything goes. Well, the social media platforms have been regulating themselves and they're knocking everybody off. I mean, surely you remember that they very famously removed Donald Trump, a sitting president, from social media while he was president. I can't believe it. And I can't believe that the Congress and the Senate didn't burn down the social media platforms, because they can. So he is saying a new proposal regarding social media platform immunity. He wants these oligarchs to be held accountable for the views of the people posting, which I think is absurd. This is the public square, and anybody and everybody should be able to post in the public square. So I would absolutely disagree with that. And again, I'm shocked that Donald Trump was canceled. Whether you agree with him or not, if you love him or hate him, he has a right to be on social media, and he's the sitting president. Very, very disturbing. Ideas for reversing the collapse of local journalism and the erosion of trusted media. Let me say that again. Erosion of trusted media. Yes, trust in the mainstream media has completely disintegrated. Look at how they're handling the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. They convicted him before the trial, and he was let off on all charges. So who's right, who's wrong? Well, the courts are right. The courts must be right, because they went carefully through the evidence. They didn't talk about their feelings. We have to let the courts do their job. And so people no longer trust the mainstream media. And what has replaced it? Social media. There's a million eyes and a million cameras and a billion voices out there, and you can get the truth off social media and YouTube and places like this. Community-led methods for improving civic dialogue and resisting imbalances of information power. What an interesting point. He literally wants to re-establish the imbalances of information power by putting all the power in the hands of only the major media companies. There's like 5. And they disaggregated, the government allowed they allowed the reaggregation in like 1990, in the early 90s. They allowed the reaggregation of these media companies. And literally before social media came out and we got opposing voices, all media ended up being owned by like 5 companies, 3 to 5 companies in the world. And that's crazy. That's very, very dangerous and disturbing. I think George Bush did that. I'm not sure who did that, but that's a very bad thing. And now we don't have that. We have the opposite. So he is for creating, reestablishing those imbalances of power, accountability for super spreaders of online lies. I think, oh, okay, if you don't know Meghan very much yet, anybody who disagrees with her, she sues. It doesn't matter if they're telling the truth is offensive. Meghan is telling her truth. And Harry acts just like him. Is Harry just trying to silence any opposing views? That's what I think is going on. Let's meet the commissioners. Okay, there's 3 co-chairs and 13 commissioners. Let's see who they are. Marla Blow. I have no idea who this person is. Incoming president and chief operating officer, Skoll Foundation. Is that something you put just a pinch between your cheek and gum? Who is this lady? I don't know who this lady is. Kitty Couric. Well, we know who Katie Couric is. She's a very famous journalist. Okay, she should be somebody on this panel. Dr. Aaron Ford. Well, he's got a doctor in front of his name. Member, Nevada Attorney General. Attorney General? I'm sorry. You're probably very intelligent, and you're a doctor, and you're an attorney, but what do you know about information? For real, dude. Yasmin Green, Director, Research and Development, Jigsaw. No idea who this person is. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. What does Prince Harry know about media and information? Well, he's learning. He probably knows as much as I do now. Will Hurd, former congressman of Texas. A congressman. They keep everything secret. I don't think Jamil Jaffer, Executive Director, Knight First Amendment Institute, Columbia University. That sounds promising. First Amendment Institute. If he's a strong advocate for the First Amendment, he's somebody I could see being on this panel. So there's 2. And that would not include Katie Couric and this guy Jamil. Chris Krebs, Founding Director, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, U.S. Department of Homeland. He's basically CIA or NSA. He wants to keep everything secret. I could see the reason why he might be on this panel, because national security issues. Dr. Herb Lynn, Senior Research Scholar and Research Fellow, Stanford University. He's the most liberal person you've ever met. I used to live next to Stanford. The weather's beautiful. Palo Alto has the best weather on planet Earth, in my opinion. Catherine Murdoch, co-founder and president, Quadrivium Found. Who is this woman? What does that have to do with media? Dr. Safia Umoja Noble, co-founder and co-director, UCL Center for Critical Internet Inquiry. Okay, well, she has something to do with internet information, so maybe that's 3 people. Rashad Robinson, President, Color of Change. Are you kidding me? Why is this person on the panel? What? Professor Deb Roy, Professor MIT, Director MIT Center for Constructive Communication. He has something to do with communication. That's 4 people. Alex Stamos, founder, Stanford Internet Observatory. Internet. Okay, so he has something to do with the internet. 5. That's 5 people. Dr. Kate Starbird. Look at the hair. Just look at the hair. Associate Professor, Department of Human-Centered Design and Engineering. What in the world are you talking about? Okay, what? Amanda Zamora, co-founder and publisher, The 19th. Who are these people? Why would you have them on your panel? Okay, do you remember Meghan and Harry's 17 lies that they told Oprah, and now Oprah wants nothing to do with them? 17 lies Piers Morgan claims Meghan Markle told in the Oprah interview. And I think there's an 18th now. Let's just go through some of these. The royal wedding took place 3 days before the official event occurred for the public. Not true. And the the guy who did the wedding, the Archbishop of Canterbury, came out and said, never happened. Archie wasn't allowed to be a prince because he's mixed race. Not true. Absolutely not true. And when Charles becomes king, he may grant Archie a title if he is so inclined. I hope not at this point. Meghan never looked up Harry online. Oh, Meghan's the babe in the woods. Come on. Nobody believes this. She went after Harry because Harry was very uber wealthy, and she's going to replace him with someone even wealthier if she can, soon and soon and soon. Meghan hadn't seen her sister for almost 20 years. There's a picture in 2008 of her with Samantha at her graduation. TV wasn't ever part of the plan. She was, they were in talks with Netflix before they even left the palace from like the first day. Meghan's passport was taken from her. Never happened. What else? She was silent or silenced. She's claimed she was silenced by the royal family, but during this time when she was silenced, she had 73 public appearances as a working royal. Boy, if I was only silenced like that. Papers withheld the story on her father to cause maximum harm. Not true. And we know now that Meghan specifically wrote that letter to release it to the public. It wasn't a letter to her father, and she's going to lose that lawsuit. Hopefully. Let's all pray. Press created drama over Thomas Markle. Meghan created drama over Thomas Markle. Her security was taken away. They're not entitled to security. Let's get into this. I don't think people take I certainly would not take Meghan seriously doing this kind of work. I don't take Harry seriously doing this kind of work. Their goal is to silence anyone that they disagree with.
Good day, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Many thanks to the generous folks who buy me a cup of tea. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. So, Prince Harry, the super spreader of misinformation, has come out with, they've come out with their 15 points. What does Prince Harry know about media and misinformation? Nothing. Okay, that's actually Meghan's bailiwick. So again, this is like, Meghan wants to make the accusation that Archie was discriminated against because he's mixed race, because of his skin color. She got Harry to say it. She got Harry to witness to these discussions between members of the royal family and he said it. Okay, it's just really strange. And, we went over the panel. It was a long intro from, compared to most of my videos, but most of those people don't know anything about media or information, or it's just weird. So is the goal, number one, is the goal to change something, or is it just publicity? Because if you listen to like the Ocasio-Cortezes, the Rashida Tlaibs, the people like that, the Greta Thunbergs, their solutions are monstrous, ridiculous, absurd. They don't want solutions. They want to kick up a big ruckus. They want to get everybody upset. They want to burn some stuff down, and then no matter what you do, they want to say, no, that's not good enough. Okay, and so is the goal to change something, or is it just publicity? Because Harry is on that panel because of name recognition and no other reason. Is the goal to change something, or is it just publicity? Let's see what the cards want to say. Fives are the change cards. King of Spades is government. All right, so is the goal to actually, we actually want you to implement these things, or we're just kicking up a big ruckus like we're 2-year-old children, and we're going to make you do it? Outcome is veil. Their motives, their true motives, are hidden. So whatever they're saying, that's not really what they're doing. They have ulterior motives. So crossroads, change, fives are change. Fives are right in the middle between 1 and 10. 10 is completion, 1 is a beginning, 5 is right in the middle. Crossroads, they want to change the direction of things, and they want the government to do it. They want to force this change. Executioner uses force. They just cut the head off. They want to force change on an ongoing basis. 2 fives. Fives are the change cards. So they want to force this change. 10, 23. And they want to, it's 6 clubs. This adds 6 clubs. So they want to, which is what's on the bottom here. They want to affect the entire organism of society. So this is a it's a publicity stunt. It's a publicity stunt. The 15 points, it's just nonsense, and they read like nonsense. They don't read like they're serious. 3 blackbirds, but they kind of give clues to what they're really up to. 3 blackbirds, talking, action, committed to this, and scapegoat, blaming. Yeah, it's all about blaming and blame shifting. You're bad people. Heart, we hold the higher moral ground. We like to kill the children, so we hold the higher moral ground. We sacrifice our children to Molech or whatever, so we hold the higher moral ground. You bigots, you don't want us to kill our little babies when we have a baby crisis, frankly. But that's not the issue here. The issue is we don't like all this free speech, and we want to shut it down. So you're the bad people, and we're the good people. Ace of Hearts, we're the good people, you're the bad people. And Fox, it's a very clever strategy, and what they're saying is simply not true. And again, another government card. So it's a huge publicity stunt. No wonder none of those people are actually qualified. And they got that one guy, the color of change or whatever, that guy is a straight up diversity hire. I mean, who is that guy? And what does that have to do with media at all? And most of those people have nothing to do with media. So it's all just a big publicity stunt to say that the people running things are bad and we want to change what's going on. It's a big publicity stunt. It's what Greta Thunberg is doing. You know, you're all going to die in 10 years. The biosphere is going to completely disintegrate in 10 years. And every time they said that, Al Gore said that, other idiots before him said that, it's not because we don't care about the environment. It's because Al Gore is an idiot. It's because Greta Thunberg is a child and she doesn't know what she's talking about, and there's no science behind it at all. Does the public think that Harry is fighting disinformation or that he just wants to silence the critics? Because if it was Meghan, and this is Meghan's kind of issue. Excuse me. If it was Meghan just wants to silence anyone who disagrees with her. So is he fighting disinformation or just silencing all opposing viewpoints? Which, if you're silencing opposing viewpoints, that's not free speech. That's not America. America is based on free speech. So fighting disinformation or silencing opposing viewpoints. Fighting disinformation. There's that 7 spades again. Silencing opposing viewpoints. Okay. Does the public think that Harry is fighting disinformation or silencing opposing viewpoint? This is interesting. Heart, we just want the best for you. Heart, virtue signal. We want the best for you in government. We want the government to do the best for you, and we want to put a stop to this. Silencing, separating officially for your own good. Separating officially. So silencing opposing viewpoints. Definitely, they believe they're silencing opposing viewpoints. Do they feel they're fighting disinformation? Well, their motives are definitely suspect. No, they are not fighting disinformation. The motives are suspect, but Harry is an honest guy. So literally, this kind of says, because Harry is showing up as honest man, he's a rube. He's a sucker. And he's being manipulated and used by others. And they don't believe that the purpose of this is to fight disinformation. They believe that it is to silence opposing viewpoints. That's interesting, because that's what I would believe. They're trying to set up the spine for a long-term They want to set up the structure, cross, of, cross is like the spine of how things work in the long term. So the general public does not believe they're fighting disinformation. They believe that they want to just silence the critics. Now with the latest Daily Mail lawsuit, and Meghan apologized to the court. Does the public believe that Meghan is a truthful person? Because Meghan and Harry, okay, according to the laws of God, the man and the woman who are married become one person. And that's how the laws are written. Harry can blow the whole checkbook on, whatever he wants. And Meghan can do the same thing. She can buy ridiculous dresses and shoes and spend all their money, and Harry will just be like, there's nothing I can do, because they both have complete authority to bind the other. So if people believe that Meghan is untruthful, they believe that Harry is untruthful. Maybe a little less so because he's Harry, because they believe he's an honest person. That's what the last spread showed. But if Meghan's untruthful, Harry's untruthful. So does the public believe that Meghan is a truthful person? Wow. What a strange world we live in. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We live by the opposite mantra today. Sticks and stones, we're not worried about that. We're not even worried about guns and violence. We're worried only about the words that people say, because words are violence. Silence is violence. So people are so concerned about the words. So on the surface, this says, 10 and 10, 20, 5 spades. So on the surface, they're going to pretend like Meghan has everyone's best interests at heart. Oh, yeah, we believe Meghan. Oh, she's a member of the royal family. But 5 spades, no, we don't. And then underneath, secrets. She has ulterior motives, basically manipulating the people. And no, they don't believe her words. She has ulterior motives. And what she says to the public, that's not how she lives. That's not what she really thinks. So 14 and 10, 24, 6 spades, and her motives are selfish. So what an interesting spread, because underneath, on the surface, they're going to say, oh yeah, they're not going to call Meghan out and say she's a liar. But underneath, they don't believe anything she says. They don't believe her words, and they believe that she has ulterior motives, and she's manipulating for selfish purposes, the 6 spades. So they don't believe her at all, but no one's going to call her out. What an interesting spread, because that is the world we live in today. And the world, just 100 years ago, the world was a very different place. And remember, men used to have duels. They used to slap each other in the face with gloves, and that was completely legal. And then they'd go out and shoot each other. That was completely legal. That's not the world anymore. You have ridiculous false accusations occurring all the time. Does the public want more oversight of social media or less? Okay, and I would bring up the canceling the sitting president of Donald Trump. And that's not because I agree with Donald Trump, which maybe I do, maybe I don't. This is not a political channel. But you can't silence the sitting president. You can't say we're not going to air his speeches, which they did. You can't say we're not going to allow him to post on social media because he's a meanie. You can't do that. I'm sorry. And I think if you just go back in history a little bit, there's more outrageous presidents he needs to kind of calm his tone a little bit, but he's Trump. And, take it or leave it. He's Trump. And that's how he's brash, and that's how he lives. So does the public want more oversight of social media or less? Because I want less. It's the public square. Let's see what the cards want to say. More or less oversight? More oversight or less? Trinity, everything working together. Karmic relationship, basically voted by the people. And this is electronic communication. 12 and 6, 18, 5 diamonds. They want to see things cleaned up. That's what this says. They want everything to work together smoothly, and they want everything cleaned up. So What's underneath? They're very emotional about blocking and silencing. People are very upset about major figures being blocked and silenced, and they want to transform the public square. So they do want to see change, and they want it to be fair, and they want everyone to have a voice, all the people talking on social media, and they're very upset about all the blocking and censoring and silencing. Well, that's how I feel about it. So I don't think anyone. What is interesting about what's happening today is Al Qaeda and ISIS. They have blue check marks on Twitter, and anybody they disagree. Donald Trump, the president, was silenced, but Al Qaeda and ISIS are actively recruiting people to commit violence. And violence and pornography are what are not allowed by our laws. Okay? And the people promoting violence and pornography and Antifa and all those people, and Antifa just means they're fascists. They're not anti-fascists, they're fascists. They are democratic socialists. Who were the Nazis? Democratic socialists. Nothing has changed. And this just happened 40 years ago. So, and it's happening again right now. So people are very upset about all the blocking and silencing, and they just want it to be fair. That's what I want. So let's review what we had. So do people believe that they're actually trying to change things positively, or it's just a publicity stunt? It's a publicity stunt. And they believe their motives are secret. They have ulterior motives. It's just like the $1 trillion plan that Ocasio-Cortez wanted to promote. It was all ulterior motives. Nobody believed that they were actually trying to help the environment or go green or any of that. And I don't believe that. Does the public think Harry is fighting disinformation or just silencing people, silencing opposition? They believe they're silencing opposition, but interestingly, they believe Harry's a rube. He's not smart enough to realize that they're just using him. Interesting. So people really like Harry. And I would predict that once Harry can get away from Meghan, or once Meghan dumps Harry and goes after the next billionaire, that Harry will rise again to popularity if he just becomes Harry, because I think people really like Harry. And I'll, please post your hateful comments that people don't like Harry, that he's just as bad as Meghan. And right now he is just as bad as Meghan, but the cards keep telling me that people are blaming Meghan and not Harry. Does the public believe that Meghan is a truthful person? They do not. They do not, but nobody's going to call her out on it. So interesting. This is it's an interesting reading, and I hope you enjoyed the very long intro. That's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.